Good afternoon, students. Am I audible? As well as my slides are visible to you. Kindly acknowledge. Okay, thank you. So, first, briefly recapitulate what we have seen in our previous lecture. So, we have started the first module in which we have seen what is the programming, the basic introduction, the Python introduction, the difference between C++ and Python. As well, we have seen the features of Python programming, what are the different applications of Python, who uses Python. So these different MNC company uses Python. What are the reasons to learn Python? These reasons we have seen in last lecture in detail. We have seen how actually you can install Python on your computer. This URL that you have to remember, you have to download Python from this URL and you have to install. After that, you can download PyCharm. This PyCharm provides you an environment where you can actually write the Python program. You can easily debug your program, identify defect from the program. The PyCharm will suggest you if you are making the mistake where you have made a mistake. So it is better. You can use a PyCharm. And after installation, in the start menu, you can find this button that is ideally here, this kind of button, and you can use a Python. So in the last lecture, we have seen how we can execute the program, this program we have executed, and how we can easily get the output. Also, I have discussed with you, you have to do the different online courses, the basic Python online courses. I will provide you a link very soon, and you will have to complete this Python online courses. Generally, I will find out the courses which are free of cost. You no need to pay. But if you will do these courses, you will properly understand Python programming. So in module one, it is a simple basic introductory module that we have covered. And today we are going to start module number 2. So in module number 2, these are the things that we are going to cover in module number 2, like variables, operations, control flow, in which we will discuss assignments, conditionals, loops, functions, optional arguments, default values, passing function as argument. So these are the topics we will cover in module number 2. Okay. So start with the Python keyword. So in programming language, there is a different types of keywords we use. Even we can initialize a different variable name. We can initialize different variable name, right? So, but actually, these are the words which are reserved in Python. These 30 to 33 keywords. These words are reserved for the various purpose. We cannot use these 33 words for example, to initialize a variable. It having a specific purpose. So here, if you will observe, all the keywords are in lowercase, except true and false. In true and false, the first T and F is capital. All other letters are small. So actually, what is the meaning of all these different types of keywords? So we'll discuss these words today so that you can properly understand. Okay. Just a minute. Wait. Actually, now here it will not visible to you. I have to increase the font, but I am not getting here how I can increase the font. Okay, I have to use another application, that is Jupyter Notebook. So in Jupyter Notebook also uh, you can run these Python program. So earlier you were seeing the basic Python uh, ideally command prompt window, in which also you can execute your Python program. But I cannot increase the font. That's why I have opened another application, that is Jupyter Notebook. In Jupyter Notebook also you can execute Python program. So I think here I can increase font size. Okay, I think now it is visible to you. Well, check. In Jupyter Notebook, even you can implement your machine learning program uh, very easily. You can, so it will available in Anaconda. So if you will install Anaconda, you can easily implement all your machine learning, deep learning program in Anaconda. You can easily manage all your libraries, all the packages in Anaconda. So in Anaconda, okay, this from this Anaconda you can install different packages. Okay, so directly we will execute here only, so that all the programs will be visible to you. Okay, so we are discussing different keyword. So if you will check what are the reserved keyword in Python, so you can check like import keyword, print keyword dot keyword list, and if you will run this, you will get all these keywords. So look here, all these keywords are reserved. So it is very simple how I can import all the keywords. Simply you have to write import keyword, all the keywords are imported, and we have printed all the keywords. So keyword dot kw keyword list. So here is the keyword list. In the list form, all the keywords are displayed. So all these keywords are reserved. So what are the use of all these keywords? So we'll see the first keyword, that is true or false. So true, false, the first keyword. So suppose if you are writing 1 is equals to 1, and if you will execute here, you will get, is that true? Right. Screen is visible to everyone. Now the screen is visible. Okay, thank you. Thank you. So see here, what is the use of this true and false? Suppose if I want to check both the values are true or false, I can easily get this answer. Like suppose if I am, so in this way, in your program, if there is a case, you will get the answer that is either it is true or false. Like 5 is less than of 3. Yes, it is a true. Similarly, if I am writing 10 is less than or equal to 1. The 10 is less than or equal to 1. So the answer would be the false. Similarly, 3 is less than of 7. The answer would be the false. Sorry, 3 is less than of 7. The answer would be the true. Again, similarly, if you are writing true plus 2, here your answer is a 2. It is because true is equals to, if you see why it is true, because true is equals to 1. So your answer is true. So because the value of true is 1. So here the value of false is 0, value of true is 1. So this is one keyword that we can use in the program. If you want your answer in a binary, in the classification, either it would be either 0 or 1, either your answer is yes or no, true or false. That time we can use this type of keyword, right? Now the second word, that is reserved word, that is a none. So none, by the name only you can easily understand the meaning of none. None is a special constant in Python that represents the absence of value or null. So none means that a value is absent or it is a null. So none is equals to null. But actually here you will find the difference in between, like none is equals to 0. What do you think? What would be the answer? Your answer is false. Because none is equals to 0 means the value is there. Na? Something is there. The 0 is there. For example, yes and no. No is there. The value is not absent. Something is there. So that's why none is equals to 0. I got false. Right? Suppose if I am writing like none is equals to this. Now if I will execute here, again here it is false because some value is there. So if any value is absent, so that time you will get the return the output in the output that is a none or null. But here the something is, the value is there. And you know the truth table, like AND table and OR table. In truth table, in AND table, for example, in AND table, if A is T and B is your T, B is again true, then output would be the true, right? Similarly, again, if you are the A is true and B is F, your output would be the AND is there, so F. So you can consider T is 1 and f is 0, and accordingly n is multiplication. So in this way you can easily remember. So for example, here it is f, it is t, so output would be f. So 0 into 1, 0. Again, if it is a f, here it is f, the output would be the f. So this is an AND table, right? Similarly, in OR, what would be the difference? OR is like addition. So here, if it is in addition, suppose 1 plus 1, that is 1. In ORing, 1 plus 0, that is 1. So it would be the true. And again, 0 plus 1, it is like a 1. So again, true. And 0 plus 0, that is f. So this is OR table. So suppose if you want to use in your program this AND, OR, NOT. So these are the 3 other keyword, reserved keyword in the Python. Suppose if you want to use this. So how you can easily use this in the Python? Like suppose here you are using true and false. So true and false, that is false. TF, output would be the F, right? Similarly, here if you will write true or false, your output will be the true, right? Similarly, if not, if you are using not, you will get the opposite. For example, it is T, so you will get F. So these are the reserved keywords. So and, or, not, none, true, false. Similarly, the next reserved keyword is as. As. So what is the use of this as? As is used to create, if you want, for example, importing a module. And if you want to give a different name for your module, that time we use as. For example, in your program, if you want to import math, and this math you want to give a different name, so that time we can use like as my like this. Like this way, actually we can import a module by another name. So we have imported as a math, but actually I am using a different name. So actually in our further explanation, you will find actually we will use all these reserved keyword. But to understand all these reserved keyword, we are discussing little bit so that you can properly understand when we will use all these keyword in our program. That time actually you will come to know but how actually we can use all these keyword while implementing a program. But for time being, you remember how actually what are the use of these different types of keyword. Now the next keyword is assert. The next keyword is assert. So this keyword assert. So what is the use of this assert? Assert is used for debugging purpose. For example, sometimes we wish to know the internal state Or if you want to check if our assumptions are true or false, that time we use assert. Whatever you have assumed, it that your assumption is a true or false, we can check by this assert. So mainly it is used for debugging purpose. So while in your program, we can use assert and we can check or assumption is correct or not. For example, a is equals to 4, assert a is less than of 5. So this is my assumption, like a is less than of 5 and a is greater than of 5. This is another assumption. So this is my assumption. And so simply I have written this like a is equals to 4 and a is less than of 5, a is greater than of 5. So here I got an error, that is assertion error. But here I did not got any kind of error. A is less than of 5 because yes, it is a true. A is less than of 5 because a value is a 4. But I got an error here because a is not, a is less than of 5, a is not greater than 5. So here I got assertion error. So by this way, by this assert, we can debug in our program. If you have written a program and in which if you want to check the particular value, what value you are getting, what is the output you are getting for the particular variable inside the program, that time you can use assert. The another keyword that is asynchronous and wait. Dear students, so recording is going on. For example, this one of the students have turned on the camera. So if you are turn on your camera, properly set, properly light should be there because everything is recorded. The session, the recording is going on by your name, everything is recording. Some of the students even not wearing full clothes and they are turning on their camera, everything is recording. So if you are turning on your camera, you should be properly well dressed as well as should be properly light on. Otherwise, turn off your camera. Okay. So I'm talking about the two keyword that is, for example, asynchronous and a wait. So this keyword provided by asyncio library, ASYNCIO library in Python. What is the use of this asyncio and await? Actually, these two keyword we use to write a code if you want a concurrent execution. Concurrent execution. If that time actually we use this keyword. For example, if your program is I'm using like import so as I told you, uh, asyncio library. In a library, if you want to use this two keyword, you have to import this library. As asyncio, ASYNCIO. This library you have to insert first. Then you can use this. So like is fine main. So I have written one function here. So see here, here we will not use a curly bracket. So even I have written a function, I have not written a curly bracket here. Instead of curly bracket, what I did, I have put a colon here and given a space. What it means, whatever statement I will write here by providing space, all these statements belong to this function. This is a very simple logic. So, hello, then print. So actually, suppose if I want to, I want concurrent execution, that time I can use this keyword. And suppose if you want to run this program requires a special use like us, since your dot run main, in this way actually I can run this program. Am I audible to you? Because in between I got a call, so I have a doubt. Okay, thank you. Thank you. So, but to here remember only this keyword ASYNC, it is used for the concurrent execution. And if you want to use this, we have to import this library here. We'll see how actually exactly we can use this keyword, but for by taking one of the example. The next one is break and continue. So break and continue. You are aware with both the keyword. Already you have used in C programming. This break and continue are used inside for and while loop or alter their normal behavior, right? Even in the program also we can use this break and continue keyword. But mostly if there is a loop like a for and while loop will use this break and continue statement. But if you want to alter the normal behavior of your program, that time also we can use. Now how we can consider here one simple example by this way you can easily understand. For example, for I in range 1 to 11. Okay. So see here how actually we can initialize a for loop in Python. So I will not discuss in detail about the for loop because all these things we are going to cover in our further Python session. But here you can easily understand how actually we can write a for loop and what is the purpose of for loop. I think everyone you are aware with because in C you already you have used for loop many times. So if I is equals to 5, then break as print of so see here actually I have not used any open curly bracket, close curly bracket, but how the program came to know which statement belongs to which block. For example, this is the first block, right? For I in range 1 to 11, this is the first block. So here actually I have our for loop is going from value of 1 to 11. Like if you are writing in the C, that time our for loop is like for I is equals to 0, I is less than of, I is less than or equal to 10, I plus plus. In this way you can write, right? 11 elements are there, so we are starting from 0. So up to the 10 only, we have to rotate our for loop. So generally in C, we have to write the for loop like the same format. For I equal to 0, I is less than or equal to 10, I plus plus, right? But here, the same thing I have written different way, like for I in a range, I. So I is there in range 1 to 11. So colon representing the block, one block is started. So how many statements belongs to this block? So all the statements who having a space, right? All the statements, if there is a space, all the statements and statement until and unless, for example, the same thing you can easily understand. For example, I'm printing A here, and suppose I'm removing a space, and suppose I'm printing B here. If I will execute this program, you will come to know like so. So here in the program, you will find, so this A belongs to this if statement. So that's why I is equals to 5. If I is equals to 5, then break. So here after it is started from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So after 5, it break. But here we have printed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 along with A. So always it printed 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A. But B printed only once. Why it is printed one? Because here I have removed a space. So because if here I have removed a space, automatically this print B is not belonging to this for loop. It is outside this for loop. And suppose if I am giving a space, see here, if suppose I am giving a space, and now if I run, you will find 1AB, 2AB, 3AB, 4AB. So it is very easy. How you can actually create a block in Python. You can easily understand. So this is for the break statement. Similarly, you can use for the continue statement. So suppose the continue for I in the range of 1 to 11. So colon, do not forget to put a colon over there. And suppose same program I am using, if I equals to 5 colon continue, and then print I, okay, here print I, and if I would execute this program, so if I equals to 5, still you continue. So that's why here our program continue even after 5, and I got all the value 1 to 10. So in this way, you can understand the use of break and continue. Actually, in detail, we will discuss later about this for loop and everything. But here you can understand the different keywords that we are discussing. Like here we have seen break and continue. Now the third keyword, that is a class. The next keyword, that is a class. So suppose here's a class. So this class you might have listened in object-oriented programming concept, like class, object. So class is a collection of related attributes and method that try to represent a real world situation. So actually, while implementing a program, if we are using class and object, so this in object-oriented programming, you can create similarly like a real-world situation. Like withdrawal option is there, so withdrawal class is there, saving class is there, amount deposit, that is another class, or for example, customer is another class, or the employee, that is another main class. And accordingly, we will execute or we will write their respective function in respective class only. The number of advantages it has. So I'm not going to discuss in detail here. I'm simply discussing about the class. So it is very simple how we can define a class, and as well as how we can write the function, as well as their parameters. In this way, actually, you can create a number of functions, parameters in Python. This is the class. Like DEF, another reserved keyword, that is a DEF. So DEF actually it means a define. DEF means a define. So here we define user defined function. We define user defined function. So in our further discussion, you will come to know how actually if you want to define a function. So first you have to write def, DEF over there. DEF. If you want to write a new function, so that time you have to write DEF over there. By this way, the Python will come to know, yes, this is a function. So DEF, and then you have to write the function name. And if you want to pass parameters, yes, similarly, you can write the parameters over there. So in this way, actually, we can define a function. So that time we have to use this DEF keyword. Now the next keyword is, that is delete. The next keyword is, that is DEL. DEL. DEL means delete. So delete is used to delete the reference. Delete is used to delete the reference to an object. Reference to an object. Because in Python, everything is an object. So even we can delete a variable reference using delete. Now how you can understand, like here, for example, A is equals to B is equals to 5. And delete A, and suppose print A. Because if you will execute, you will get the error. Because here A is equal to B is equals to 5. Already I have initialized. But what I did here, I have deleted. So this deleted the reference to an object. So that's why I got the error. And suppose similarly, if I am printing here, instead of A, if I am printing B, because I have not deleted B, so I got the value, B value, that is 5. The similarly, suppose if I am writing the same thing in a list, so in the list, suppose I am creating like X and Y and Z. And suppose I am from the list, I am deleting the first variable A of 1. So by this way, this first variable 0, 1, 2. So this first item from the list will be deleted. And if I will print here, print of A, so here you could see. So here from the list, I have deleted this first variable, first item, like 0, 1, and 2. Now the next reserve keyword, that is if, else, if. So we know it is if, else, all. It is used for conditional branching or decision making. In C, many times you have used this if, else, right? So no need to discuss again this if, else, because many times you have used this if, else in your C program, right? So we'll see the another one, that is except, raise, try. So these are the another keyword. All are used for one specific purpose. So it is used with exception in Python. Suppose if you want to quote exception in the Python, that time we can use this keyword. For example, suppose if you are dividing any number, and if you are dividing by 0, so obviously any number by dividing by 0, you've got the exception error. So that time actually we can write try, then respective code, whatever you want to write. And if any kind of error is occurred, for example, in a code you have written r is equals to 1 divided by num, and num is the value of num is 0. And except print exception caught and return, and here if your value is num value is 0, so automatically the exception quoted, and you will get the exception error. So here we have used try, except, and similarly we can use a raise. So in our Python program, in our different, when we will see a different Python program, that time we will see in detail how actually we can use except and raise in the program. Now the next one is for. For already we have seen in different example how, what is the purpose of for. For is used for, what is the use of for? Yes, answer in chat box. One of the student is asking like, yes, for looping purpose. Yes, for is used for looping purpose. But Shivang Vora is asking, will you teach how to use socket in Python? Actually, the socket programming, that is another concept that comes in the computer network. So actually, I will teach this socket programming, but in next year. Next year, I use if you are under my class. So every second semester, I used to taught computer network subject. So in that subject, there is a socket programming. So TCP socket programming, UDP socket programming is there. So that time actually we will discuss about the socket programming. Because here it is just simply you are learning Python program. So it is not good to discuss about the socket programming here. Okay. But the next year you will come to know the socket programming, and even if you are doing IoT courses, you will come to know in detail this year only. Okay. The next one is like a form and import. The another keyword is that the form and import. So import, by the name you can easily understand what is the use of import. Suppose if you want to import any module in a particular current namespace, that time we use this import. For example, if you want to, for example, if you are importing one library, that is math library, import math. So by simply writing this, your math library will be imported. Like in C, you use include, hash include. Like if you want to add any library, you use hash include. Similarly here, we use import. Suppose if I have used import math, your math library imported, but if I want to use, if I want only the cos function from the math library, so it is not good to import the complete library. Instead of this, what we can do, we can write like from math library import cos, right? Cos. So by this way, actually, only this cos function imported, which is under the math library. And suppose if you are not writing this, what, and instead of this, if you are writing only the import math, so it is not the case, then you no need to write this cos, everything is included. Again, if you want to use this cos function, whenever in the program, that time you have to write this math cos like this way. You have to import this cos. So this is a facility provided here. If you want to import particular function from the library, you can write like this from math import cos function. So actually I am importing math library, and from math importing cos, so directly I can use this cos. The next one is that is a global keyword. So I'm not again discussing here very detail about the global, because in our further lectures, you will come to know in detail what is local variable, global, local, what are the use of this. So actually global is used to declare that variable inside a function is a global. So inside the, suppose if you want to only read a particular value, that time you no need to define this global. But if you want to modify a value, that time we have to declare this global keyword. Now we'll see, for example, here global variable is equals to 10. So here one variable that I have initialized here. And this is one function that I am reading a value, and I am printing again globe variable that I have initialized earlier. Again, I am writing another function that is right here. Now what I want to do here I want to make I want to change the value. So see, that's why I am writing global and globe variable, and global variable equals to 5. So if you see here, as I told you, if you want to read a particular value, that time we no need to declare global over there for that particular variable. Because see here, I have not written a global here because simply I have to read here value, but this value, globe variable 10 value. But in this function, actually I want to make a change this value. So instead of 10, I have to make it 5. So here, actually, I have to declare this global. This variable is a global. So globe variable is equals to 5. Actually, when we will discuss the program that time, again, you will properly understand. But here, actually, it is the important concept that you have to remember and practice on. But for every function, the colon is required. Okay. So it creates actually a block. Globe variable is equal to 15. Okay. Now here, suppose I am executing the read one. So see here, suppose I am executing read one. So the answer would be the 10. Because you see here, actually, only here I want to read this value. So I no need to write the global. But here I want to make a change in the value. So that time I have to write a global. So here I am making a change. Instead of read one, I am writing write one. So read one, write one, read one, and again write two. And read one. Now we'll execute this program. So see here. Okay. Okay, see. So the first read one. So simply we have read the value that is 10. And the second, I have make a change in the value. I made it 5. So it became 5. Again, I read the same value. The value is changed. That is 5. Sorry, actually, the time is over. The further reserved keyword we will discuss in next lecture. We'll discuss in next lecture, but you practice all these keywords. If you are practicing, then only you able to remember all these keywords and properly understand all the keywords. Okay, thank you. Now you can leave the session. Your next lecture, I think you have a next lecture. You can leave the session now. Thank you.